Jon Voight is a very strong personality and a character. And the film was being shot in at the Arboretum in Pasadena. But I'm a businessman, so I only wanted to do B-roll down in the Amazon. But Lucho, the director, said, no, we're going to be shooting down there. So we loaded up an entire 757 with a duplicate version of the boat. And we couldn't put the snake in there; it was too heavy. But I mean, everything, the full 757 goes down to the Amazon, and I didn't go, and I didn't intend on going. It was supposed to be 3 weeks worth of shooting down there, which there were a lot of tough things shooting down there. But somebody reported back to the studio, and by this time, I think Peter had moved on. And Lisa Henson, my recollection is, was the head of production at the time, and a guy named Teddy Z. And they had heard that Jon wanted to use a heavy makeup and look like an evil guy. And they were freaked out about it because there were no dailies that they could see. There was no electronics. So dailies were done on film, and they had to be processed in a lab. And they were out really in the middle of the River Negra, and this, we shot dailies, but they weren't developed, and the studio certainly didn't get to see them till, by the time they would have seen them, it was too late. And they called me up and said, you've got to get down there, you've got to go. Jon Voight's going to ruin this thing. We hear he's got crazy makeup on, and Leonard, you're the producer, you've got to handle this. Okay. So I get on a private plane, and I fly to, I flew commercial to Colombia. And I'm sitting in Colombia petrified because it was Colombia. And then we had the private plane pick me up and fly me to Manaus. And then in Manaus, I get on a boat and I go an hour up the River Negra to a place called the Ariu. And it's a hotel where the cast and crew was staying. And I have a Sony Hi8 with me, so I can take some pictures of what's going on, because I'm going to be there for 2-3 days trying to straighten this thing out and get back to the studio and get their approval on his makeup. So I meet Jon for basically the first time that we had any conversation, and Jon just treated me like a suit, And what do I know about his craft? And he was right, 100% right. So Jon looks at me and he says, here's what we're going to do. Part of his deal was that he had his own makeup guy with him. He wanted his makeup guy, and his makeup guy was going to do this stuff. So he said to me, I'm having, and I feel bad, I don't remember that person's name, but he said, I'm going to have him do the worst Quasimodo job on me you've ever seen. I am going to look so over the top, and that's what we're going to film, and that's what you're going to show the studio. And then you're going to show him some actual footage of what I've been doing. He said they'll be so relieved that they won't bother me anymore. So I get out my camera, and he says, you're going to shoot this? I said, yes, I'm decent at it. And so he comes out with the eye hanging out of his head. I mean, they would have died. They did die. So it was unbelievable. And of course, then we cut from that, cleaned all that up, and then he put on his makeup as you see it in the film, which was great. And we get that in the can, and then I relax, and while I'm there, I shoot some background roll on the making of. So I come back, and
is there any direct story of when you took the tape to the guys at the studio and they
Yes.
first saw what? Can you kind of lay that out for us?
Well, they were really hot to see what was going on. And so I had some editing equipment in my house. I just used my own fun, and it was a big setup. I had actually, when I was still in high school, I told you about the projectors and stuff, I also had a summer job working for a company that leased moviolas, so I knew about this stuff. But of course, at this point, I shot on digital tape, and so I had digital editing equipment. So Lisa Henson came over with Teddy, I believe, to my house. And very anxious to see this. They did not want to wait another day. So I take them into the editing suite at my house, and they go, "Whoa, you know how to work this stuff?" I go, "Yeah." And I turn it on, and they almost died. I mean, they freaked out. Oh my God! And I just, calm down, calm down. And then we kept rolling, and then I said, "I'm just kidding. Here's what it looks like." And Voight was 100% correct. They looked at it and said, "Oh, that's fine." And the rest is history.